they actually took a timeout. I guess they're gonna try to do the old Peyton Manning super duper extra long Hail Mary here. They're at the freaking 35-yard line. How in the hell is they gonna? I guess we're gonna find out. Apparently, it's strong enough. Oh no, they just kneeled. What are they doing? What is happening here? Why would they do this? I was not paying attention. I thought we were at
maybe
halftime,
they needed time to give Breeze to get down from the wherever he was at because he's being
yeah, that's a good point.
Doing him a solid.
Doing him a solid, yes. Can't imagine Drew Brees is enjoying this Saints performance. I have been mildly entertained. I mean, it's not good by any stretch of the imagination. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, these two quarterbacks suck out loud. And we probably should have had a couple more chaos plays, I suppose. But they're both frisky out of the pocket in terms of scrambling. And these two teams currently both have 6.0 yards per play. I guess the Saints took a dip on that last kneel, but whatever. Yeah, good.
Some of the biggest plays have been like, hey, Rattler should have been sacked. Probably should have been sacked on that play. Instead, it's a 20-yard gain. The other one was like broken coverage in the first play that Adebo was out, and they had to make adjustments in the secondary. Yeah. So, I mean, some of the big plays have been a little fluky, but I don't want to disparage them too much because they've found some open receivers. They've made some things happen, and both teams are running the ball semi-decently with just a cavalcade of characters. Everybody's running. Everybody gets a carry tonight. There's like 7 different guys that have toted the ball, but it's still. There's been some mistakes. They've gotten away with some things. The guy that jumped off sides, that was like, that sucks that a silly play got ruined. And then you realize, like, the really high snap was completely because of that. But still, like, Rattler, what he did after that, there's no way. I don't think he knew he had like a free play or he was getting that back.
I don't think so either.
What he did running into his guy and then trying to throw it while he's going down.
Classic.
No, it was Levis-esque.
It was Levis-esque, yeah. And he's got some Levis in him. The second half opener is New Orleans -0.5 plus 102. So that's basically -113 on the money line for the second half. And over-under for the second half is 17.5, which means anyone who played the full game under, myself included, is a little sweaty. Put that up there. If we wanted to get more under down, you can get it 17.5 or -109. Over 17.5 is -107.
I'm not in love with my full game under, Drew, just because the tackling has still been suspect for the Saints.
The Saints defense and now no Adebo. So
Adebo kind of stinks though. He is, I don't know. He was kind of blandish, where he'd have big plays, but then he'd have massive penalties and some broken coverages himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of it's just been shit tackling. Again, they're getting blown off the ball in the run, and then they're not tackling all that well. It kind of feels like just more Denver.
Yeah.
I don't know. What have you seen that would make you want to lay a half a point with New Orleans here?
Nothing. I want Broncos money line.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I mean, Sean Payton's. This is his return to the Big Easy. He's not taking his foot off the gas here, and the running backs are going to just be able to just put this thing away. I mean,
they have like 4 running backs they can throw out there.
They can, and Bo Nix is as much a running back as he is a quarterback. You want to guess, by the way, in the 30 plays that Bo Nix has been involved, what his ADOT is?
4.
6.7. 6.7.
Oh, he did have a couple of those longer ones.
Couple of long ones, but he's thrown 21 passes in this contest.
That's surprising.
Yeah, there's been a lot of short stuff, but Spencer Rattler's ADOT, you got to guess there?
Did he even have one long one? And you have the Moreau.
He's had a bunch of long ones.
What's his, like 7?
11.8. They are really asking him to do some hard things. They are not giving him anything easy, which is way different than what I thought.
Down play?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know how these are calculated in real time at all. I have no clue. It is worth noting both of these quarterbacks are actually, Bo Nix has generated a positive EPA, but his completion percentage over expectation is -7.2 because he is skipping a lot of balls to wide fucking open guys. I lost count. Like there was, if Bo Nix was able to throw accurately from a clean pocket, then the Broncos should have 35 points in this game. Like that's what I kind of want Broncos second half. And I think you just hope that this ends 31-3, which weirdly has happened before in a Broncos versus a Saints game. Did you know that?
Who starts with the ball? I actually missed.
Oh, by the way, money line flipped and Broncos are now favorite -117. So, oops, we should have fired immediately. Damn. All right, well, whatever. I'll still taking it.
Yeah, it's not the strongest stake, but I think it is the right side. Who started with the ball? I got tied up in one of those YouTube videos where they play theme songs and you have to guess the movie.
It was the Broncos first. They punted.
Okay. I'm like, fuck, the game started. I'm like, oh, I didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So our second half play is Denver money line -117. Yikes.
I bet you can find a better price for that. Shop around.
Yeah, I like here's the answer. Like I don't know if we're seeing points from the Saints tonight beyond 3. I kind of think this is it. Denver's defense is healthier. They're fine. They look good. They're rushing the passer well. And now, like, you can't hit any easy buttons for Rattler. And I think the Allens and the Baron Brownings of the world. Baron Browning, by the way, did not see him on the radar as being available for this game. He's back. I think they're going to be pretty effective at shutting down any kind of drives. And also, the Saints are out of opportunities to kick field goals. So there's going to probably be some fourth downs that don't get converted. I really think Saints team total under is probably a good look, but boy, is that a narrow walk. One touchdown and you're cooked. So yeah, Broncos I think is fair, and it looks like the market is very
I was trying to find a better angle because it is making my face look just terrible. Oh god, now I'm red. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was fucking with my camera.
No, you look fine. I mean, your signal is grainy, but you're fine. No, it's coming back. Now you're good. You're good. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, just a couple of jokes in the chat about like a pick six or an interception. It does feel like the second half is gonna have a silly result because of a bad turnover by one of these teams. But I still like if I had to lay it, said like, hey, who's gonna have the stupidest turnover? It's probably like 65-35 Rattler right now. Nix is just missing guys short. Like, yeah, Rattler's throwing some bad balls. Although I guess Nix did throw one really bad one. And that should have been picked. It wasn't going to be don't do
that. You know who I think
bug beans.
Yeah, they need the easy adjustment here for Clint Kubiak is press the bug beans button. More bug beans. He only had 2 targets in the first half. He caught 1 for 10 right there at the end of the first quarter. Foster Moreau, fine. He had 1 big play, 32 yards, but I would go more Juwan Johnson, Bub Means in the second half here. I don't think the Mason Tipton targets are doing much for me. The Cedric Wilson Jr. targets aren't doing much for me. Spencer Rattler, 10 of 13. His advanced stats are actually somewhat favorable in terms of completion percentage over expectation with these extremely long ADOT. He has managed a 77% completion percentage, which is 11.9% over expectation. That I think if you take away the fumble, he would have a positive EPA type of night. But you take away the fumble, you absolutely got to give Tyrann Mathieu the pick because that was about the easiest pick. It's the most like if turnover worthy play was a percentile, like an an XG. You know, if it was an XTWP, that one was 0.999. I do not understand how that did not get picked.
I used to have that with baseball when I was younger too. I drop some easy ones. Like it gets in your head when it's too easy and it's just right at you. Sometimes you screw it up. I don't know how to explain what it is. It is almost like the yips. I can't believe he dropped that. And yeah, Nix may not have that many attempts. That's a good point.
Not only is he not going to have that many attempts, Patrick, I love that point. Like he is very inclined to scramble. Like go. He's the anti-AOC. AOC.
Yeah, what
Did
I
you
was
see that stat floating around today? That
yeah,
AOC
that's what
was
I was going to interrupt you with
never
that too.
scrambled
When you
once.
said Juwan Johnson, I don't know if he's playing in the second half.
Oh, did he get hurt?
Yeah, he went to the locker room, but he came back, I think.
Oh,
So
it
I
was
don't know.
a
Yeah,
little
Brian
G.
doesn't.
It was the
Brian
old
here in
GI.
Milwaukee.
It was a GI issue.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you get the notifications from the old Fantasy Life app, Bleacher Nation Fantasy app, Brian is the guy who sends those most of the time. So I'm gonna trust his injury news. He's monitoring like 18 feeds at once. So I
Cool.
think Jennings is coming back. You're on thin ice, Buster.
What do we think of our lovely Dodgers? Ooh, they
Are
had
they
a
up
nice
3-2
little
still?
5-2 now.
5-2. Okay.
Been solid. I
Under
mean,
no longer
dude,
a thing.
under's no longer a thing, and Ohtani, he's heating up. I think that the Dodgers are in a very, very solid position to advance. I hope they do not blow this. I thought the Yankees were basically going to sew up the series tonight. I can't believe they blew it. That was insane. Did you see that Cleveland game tying home run? 2 outs.
Awesome.
Guy I've never heard of that guy in my life. What a call.
No, I don't watch
Pinch
enough
hitting
baseball. He's in my division.
What a
I
call.
still don't know some of these guys.
You're on thin ice, Buster. Take a chill pill, Tim. Thank you. Great call, Link.
There's been some good baseball. The baseball's been good.
I don't think I've ever called Cal Link. I said that was the first time.
Really?
Yeah, first time.
I think that's his Christian name.
I know. I like Cal though. Is kind of that's my touchstone.
The big Calhouna.
Yeah.
Cleveland did blow it first.
And how do you pronounce this? The Johnsky? Is it Johnsky? John Kensey. John Kensey. The John Kensey Noel Hive. Noel? Noel. Noel Rakes. Noel Rakes.
You know, it's easier to say Fry.
John Kensey. The John Kensey. Thank you very much, Ant. Spencer Rattler over 41.5 rushing yards. He's running for his life every play. That's true. This Saints offensive line we thought was going to be like a 2 out of 10 heading into the season, and we were like, oh, maybe they're a 6, maybe they're a 7. They're a 2, and it's because of injury, which is a bummer. I don't think you're getting a fair read on Rattler at all, right? Yeah, you know what, the Saints ratings have looked like the Yankees win probability from the 6th inning to the end of the game.
Big Christmas, they call him. Love that.
Is
Big
that John Kensey is Big Christmas?
Multiple people have said Big Christmas. I'm going to trust that's an actual.
Oh, because of the Noel. Because of the Noel.
Yeah.
Get it?
He's big.
Get it?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Bet Rivers has Den plus 102 second half. Ooh. It's closing at 116 at bookmakers, so I'm not really worried about that.
Bet then if you can get plus money.
I love this question. Oh man, I think it's Randall, but it's close.
Off the bench.
It's Randall, but it's close.
The Wolves have a very good bench now. Again,
they do.
I'm happy with that team up and down.
Let me pull up my numbers. Hold up. Who is more player level impactful? Now I gotta know. Sorry, go ahead. What is your? I guess what's your expectation? What's the temperature in Minnesota for the Timberwolves? Are people buzzing that it's finally Timberwolves season, or did the Vikings stealing all the shine?
The Vikings are stealing a lot of thunder because the thing about the NBA season is it's 19 months long, and it starts, it starts now, and you get the finals 3 like it's not even really fall. The leaves are just starting to fall, and the finals are literally in the heat of the summer. Like it's so far away now that we actually have a team that's like, hey, this is a team that's going to be, a top half seed in the playoffs, unless everything goes wrong. It feels like you get to be the guy who's like, we'll watch some games, but we'll check in May.
Great point. Where is the tailgate for Lynx Liberty tomorrow, Andy? The Lynx are they're gonna come back on the libs here,
That was
right?
heartbreaking loss. Heartbreaking
That
loss.
was a rip. Yeah, that was a rip your heart out with the deep three from Sabrina.
What are you gonna do? Like
I
the
mean,
weirdest thing for
it was.
me.
I thought it was very well defended. I
The
don't know what you're.
weirdest thing is that we can't get the way they line these up. You can't get a Las Vegas, New York final, which I mean, I'd love to see the Lynx in the final every year. You know, if the Lynx do come back and win, they will be breaking a three-way tie for the most championships. They
Are
will
you
be
kidding?
your Patriots, your Steelers. They have 4. Can you name the other franchises with 4 wins?
I bet
I'm
you.
not so sure I can remember them.
I bet you Houston Comets have one because they won a bunch
Correct.
back in the day, right? Like with the Cheryl.
Correct.
Was it Cheryl Swoops? I can't remember who was the anchor of that team, but the Comets I remember were they were your Celtics, hanging banners going up against plumbers. You know, like is that fair? Is that a fair comp?
True back then. There was less parity back then. I believe it was the Comets and the Seattle Storm.
Oh, the Storm
Also
that checks out.
4.
That checks out.
Storm had some good years.
They had some strong squads. I did take exception though to who was the Storm guard that retired?
Back to back.
Who was he remembers? Yeah. Who was the Storm guard who recently retired? Sue Bird. I did take exception to the kind of the degree to which she was kind of lauded as the GOAT. Didn't really feel right to me. Nothing against her. I think she was a perfectly good player.
There's 5 players in the league that are better than her right now.
Yeah. So the Lynx have 4, the Comets have 4, and the Storm have 4. And the Comets did win the first 4 in a row. They have also, you know what, the Comets and the Storm, only 2 teams that are undefeated in finals. So they got the chance to get to Jordan status of 6-0 at some point, I would assume.
If they still exist, the Storm still exists.
Sue Bird does have the all-time record for assists in the NBA Finals with 16 from 2020. Anyway, did the Storm still exist? Is that what you asked, or the Comets?
The Comets, that's what I was saying. I don't think the Comets exist.
The Comets folded after the 2008 season. They're not getting Jordan status. You're right. I didn't know the Comets folded. Why am I first hearing? I didn't even know they were sick.
There's been like 5 teams that folded that didn't make it. Wrong timing, wrong city. But they're coming. The Valkyries, Toronto, they're coming back.
The Charlotte Sting folded in 2006.
That was a bad city to put NBA.
The Dallas Wings were relocated from Detroit to Tulsa and then to Dallas. So they've had now 3 shots.
Tulsa King.
Yeah. The Sacramento Monarchs were folded following the 2009 season. I think the Great Recession really did not do good things for the WNBA, it turns out.
People were like, should I pay my mortgage or get season tickets to the Sacramento Monarchs?
Yeah, right. And that was a big problem in Sacramento in particular. Relocated. The Aces went from. Can you name where the Aces used to be before they were the Las Vegas Aces?
They were in San Antonio.
And before that?
I don't remember what it was before that.
Utah. They were in Utah to San Antonio in 2003, and then Las Vegas in 2018. So they had.
There was a Salt Lake City team.
Do you remember what they were called?
I don't
remember this at all.
Sister Wives.
No, it was the Utah Stars with 2 Z's. Stars with 2 Z's.
I don't remember that at all. You could be making that up.
No, it was the Stars with 2 Z's. And then and then they went San Antonio Silver Stars, San Antonio Stars, and then Las Vegas Aces, which, by the way, Las Vegas Aces is a chef's kiss of a branding. Great branding. Rocks.
I had an exciting. We had
I like it better than Las Vegas Golden Knights, right?
I almost became a really big Lynx fan one year. I guess I follow them and I like the product, but there was a major renovation that needed to happen to the Target Center. And when do you do that? You do that when the Timberwolves are not playing, because that's your moneymaker out of anything that's happening in the Target Center. Even if you lose some conventions and stuff, you have to do it during the summer.
Yep.
So they did that, and they just kind of told the Lynx, like, hey, tough cookies. You're a WNBA team. You don't make us any money. Such is life. And they were pretty close to coming down to Rochester just for the
Oh,
year. And they were going to play their home games here before they ended up somewhere else up in the Twin Cities. I'm like, shit, because at that time, I lived like 3 blocks from the Civic Center. I'm like, I had all these plans. I'm like, I'm going to be a Lynx guy. I'm going to get these cheap season tickets that nobody wants because it's in a different city. And it didn't pan out. But, here I came around eventually. I'm a big Fee fan.
yeah. By the way, just for your edification, because you're not watching, you're streaming, we had a 3 and out for the Saints, and the Broncos are now driving on the legs of Mr. McLaughlin. Estimate we actually you want to know what the 3 plays we've had so far for the Broncos on this drive were, Andy? Jay Williams,
McLaughlin
7 for 13 yards. Estime for 7 yards. McLaughlin for 21 yards, and now back to Jay Williams for 1 yard. So Sean Payton is just having the time of his life out there, just swapping running backs on every possible running down. He is loving it out there. And I think
he's taking off the headset. He's taking off the headset. He doesn't even need to call in plays. He's just sending it in with the running back.
Next guy.
Like he did in high school.
Next guy.
Go run the play in.
Next guy. I love it, man. No, he's looking at these. They just cut to him actually looking at his gigantic menu and ripping off a 20 syllable play call. So he's still feeling it here.
You used to have to call plays, baby.
Yeah.
Before they had headsets, you used to have somebody had to run it in, baby.
Yeah, that's right. And then they had the big innovation in college where they put up the card with 4
the big sign.
The 4 signs on card. There's been a lot of Troy Franklin in this game. He's been targeted 5 times, 6 times, the most targeted wide receiver for the Broncos tonight. He's got 5 for 50. Never heard of him. He has some juice. He's got some juice. Oh, he was a Duck.
Remember, he was kind of a tweener to be a first rounder. There were some people saying he may be, but he was a little smallish, I think. And there were some mocks that had him late first round because there were so many teams that needed wide receivers. And yeah, he ended up where he ended up, and he was pretty good. He was good with the Ducks.
Big third down play here for those of us on an under. And it is an incomplete, and there are no flags. So they will be bringing out the field goal unit. Good for us for the second half, but also good for us on the under. This was ideal, honestly. Little Jordan Humphrey was the targeted player. All right. 10:33.
Oh, even
so
better.
that was a nice 4-minute drive by the old Broncaroos. All right.
NBA. So, we're getting a lot of NBA.
Yeah, let's. Okay, I want to go back to. Let me go back to.
What about an NBA mailbag show?
Let me go back to Adam's original question because I got my numbers up. DiVincenzo, Randall, the more important player for the Wolves. It is Randall, and it's kind of a funny reason why. Randall is the better offensive player, and he is a bad defensive player, but you have a good defense otherwise, and so I think he fits pretty well with the sort of the structure. And I saw Brian's comment that he was a black hole, and look, like he was addition by subtraction when he was not on the Knicks run last year. I thought,
but they didn't have the other defensive pieces.
They didn't have the other defensive pieces, so he was a problem defensively on the floor with that squad. He's not going to be a problem, I don't think, defensively. And the big question is really just: is he okay being like the second, third banana sometimes offensively? Is he going to let Ant be Ant offensively? And if he does, that's great. I think he's the more important player. DiVincenzo is just a good all-around player, and he's a nice, really, really nice depth piece for them. They're probably going to close with him on the floor. I like that they got a younger at guard as well, by the way, because I've definitely kind of had my eyes on the expiration date for Mr. Mike Conley, and DiVincenzo is a big old upgrade if you can have, because I just don't want Mike Conley being like the guy on point of attack defense. I'm fine with DiVincenzo as that guy. So I think that it was a good move ultimately, even though I'm like a cat apologist. I feel like the only person who's sort of, still sees some positive there. So nice move for the Wolves. The Wolves are going to be good this year.
So the Wolves are going to be good. Your starting 5 is Rudy, Ant, Nas. I
haven't seen what Finch is calling for. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, what's your
for
front?
you.
What's the backcourt look like right now?
You have
Do we still have Jaden McDaniels?
you got Conley and Edwards in the back court.
Yep.
Jaden McDaniels is your small forward.
Yep.
Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert on the front court, and DiVincenzo first off the bench. Naz Reid is, you know what, Andy? He is your number one candidate for 7th man of the year.
He plays so good. He's just stuck. He's stuck in a spot where he's not. He's going to get a lot of minutes.
He's going to get a shitload of minutes because, like, after that, like, I don't think there's really a role for Joe Ingles on this team. We'll see. I don't think that the youth is really ready to play with these guys, so they're probably not going to get much run.
Ingles was somebody we were betting 3-pointers on in the playoffs.
Jingles,
5 years ago.
It's been a long time for Jingles. Yeah. Any other general Knicks thoughts or questions? I'll happily answer. Ooh, we got a good one. What's the MVP, Rookie of the Year, MIP, Coach of the Year parlay? MVP, honestly, rookie. Okay, let's go backwards here. Coach of the Year. I like Budenholzer.
Okay.
For the Suns, mostly because I'm projecting the Suns to get into like the 60-ish win range, or I'm projecting them to get into the 50-ish win range. But I think 60 is like kind of where they cap out if they actually do play well and come together as a team and have a healthy Grayson Allen, which I'm actually feeling less happy about. But I think Bud's really, really well liked, and he will get a ton of credit if the Suns look good in the regular season and have a top 2 seed in the West. The Celtics are just going to embarrass everyone in the East, but I don't know that that's going to be good enough for Missoula to get the credit unless they win 70. And I think it's about as likely that the Celtics win 70 as the Suns winning 60. So the expectations are so high, and they're going to be so good that they're just going to kind of squash everybody in the East. And honestly, the East is very predictable. I don't think there's a surprise team that's like coming up, storming up the rankings in the East. People have made cases for like Charlotte and stuff. No fucking way. So yeah, I think ultimately Budenholzer gets the Coach of the Year. MIP, give me Mr. Franz Wagner of the Orlando Magic. I think he makes his first All-Star team. I think German, he makes his first All-Star team this year. I like him to kind of, he was a victim of bad shooting variance last year. If he has a good shooting season, he's making the All-Star team and he will be your MIP. Rookie of the Year likely goes to Edey. I'm not going to fade the chalk there. I think he has the most well-defined role. The rookie class, Andy, I don't know if you know this, they suck. Like they suck out loud.
It was a bad draft. Yes. And a lot of those guys don't have roles. Like
they don't have roles. They're not going to get any. Yeah. Rookie of the Year is volume.
You gotta have the opportunity.
And Edey's going to have it. So I think you go Edey Rookie of the Year. And this is where it gets weird. And this is the most wide open MVP year.
It's fun. There's like 6 guys.
There's like 12 guys.
No.
I think
I'm narrowing it down.
Okay. Well, who are your 6?
Just Ant.
So this is what this is going to be like.
Rudy, that's kind of
you know what this is going to be like, and I wish they would let you do this. FanDuel might, because they're connected to.
Who's your most likely MVP candidate on the Oklahoma City? If you had to pick
I just thought of a really fun way to play to a bet option. You ready?
Yes.
You know when you go to the track?
Yes.
And you put in a horizontal.
Yeah.
Pick 4.
Yeah, pick.
Like we're gonna take these horses in race 1. We're gonna single this horse in race 2. We're gonna take these 3 in race 4, and then we're gonna take these 2 in race. Yeah. Then the all right. Well, the MVP is the one you want to really hit.
The all
more options. I think you can single Edey. I think you have to pick 3 or 4 MIPs. MIP could go in a lot of ways. Coach of the Year, I think you can pick a couple. But MVP.
Shy.
Who's your 6? He's not winning.
I'm putting him in there anyway.
Okay.
He's in the 12.
He's in the 12. He's in the 12. He's not in the 6. He's in the 12. He's not in the 6.
Oh, I don't know. I don't follow the NBA.
Luka, obviously. Jokic, obviously.
Luka and Doncic. Yeah.
Doncic.
No, honestly, nobody from the. I'm going to say nobody from the Celtics. It's just kind of
Tatum's in there. He's in the mix. Tatum's in the mix.
Tatum is, but
absolutely.
He's the 12, not the 6. He's in the 6.
He's in the 6, I think.
He's 7.
Okay. All right. He was first NBA, first team
All
NBA,
right.
all
I
NBA
mean,
last year, so he's going
if
to be
they're
in the
healthy,
six.
Giannis and Embiid are always in the conversation.
Embiid's not. Embiid has basically already said he will not play enough games to
Okay.
qualify.
So throw them out.
He's
All right.
out.
So
He's
if
out.
they're healthy,
Giannis
if they're
is.
healthy, you got
Yeah.
your big guys in Denver and Milwaukee.
Yep. That's only 5.
Who am I missing? Is there somebody from the Suns that you'd put on this?
I would put KD in the mix. He
Okay.
was he's good enough. Some people like Booker over KD as the Suns rep, but we'll
KD
see.
over.
We'll see. I think I would put Curry in the mix. I think he still has potential to do something. And I honestly really like the Warriors team.
Did we
they
say
have
Cat?
wild good
Excuse
depth.
me, did we say Ant?
You didn't say Ant. Ant is in the mix for sure. Ant is in the mix for sure. Brunson's probably in the mix because he plays in New York. Not that he's like clearly good enough to get consideration, but he's in the mix because he's in New York. I would say maybe Donovan Mitchell's on the fringe of the mix, and then I would put I think we're forgetting somebody obvious. I'm sure.
Pacers.
Halliburton's out. I think Pacers. If the Pacers have a really good, if the Pacers have a really good season. Pacers have a really good season. They're probably like the 6th seed again. I don't know what it's going to take. It is. We had a 3-play 1-yard drive by the Saints, and then they punted it back to the Denver Broncos. The Broncos had a nice deep pass to somebody named Kroll with a K, and then Jordan McLaughlin. And then Javonte Williams. So they're doing the running back rotation, spin the wheel, which is fun as hell. I'm fading Showtime because there is. I think there is a. It's going to be overall team, yes,
yeah,
and I think there's a bias to acknowledge him on the level of the other guys, which is going to be tough for him to overcome. I love him as a player. I think he should have gotten more consideration last year, surely. But, oh, man, Bo Nix now on the ground. He's going to the 5. Oh, boy. Well, our second half bet looks good. Our under is in
peril.
Distress.
We need a very
distress. So, yeah, I think Shea's SGA is a top 5 player, surely. But there is going to be a hesitance to acknowledge
MVP is weird like that.
Yes.
Because it's all about divvying up the pie of responsibility and accountability,
the credit. And yes, I believe in this guy being an all-pro for years to come. So it's okay that he gets an MVP. Like that kind of calculus weirdly falls into the discussion here.
Number?
So, Wemby's number is
for
MVP.
Is probably right, but
do you want to guess? Bet. Do you want to guess?
Like 20?
14-1.
That's
MVP.
Pathetic. I can't even do that.
Insanity.
That's a
here's my Wemby commentary. You ready?
All right, last thing, then I gotta go inside.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to do an NBA podcast.
I wanted to bet his DPOI before the market was open so badly that I was like ready. I was like keeping cash in an account.
We thought it might be
bet it, right? And it opened minus 190 or something fucking dumb, right? Yeah. And that experience soured me to the point where I've spent all the time since then coming up with mental calculus to how he's not going to actually win it. So now I've talked myself into either he's going to potentially get hurt, or the Spurs might lose enough games that they're out of the mix and they might just put him in on ice so that they can get a better draft pick. Right? Like I'm kind of talking myself into. Yes, there's a game minimum for everything, but rookie of the year has a game minimum, I believe. And so he might not make I'm talking myself into he might not make the threshold, which makes the other DPOI candidate prices like hilariously they look impossibly good. So I'm kind of
Marfans.
Yeah, I don't think Marfans has a realistic chance at all. I don't think he's a very good defensive player. That's kind of crazy. And,
he needs to get bigger.
Yeah, I think shopping for a couple of banana long shots in the DPOI is a fun way to do it, just in case Wemby doesn't qualify.
Yeah,
there's I mean, your boy Rudy. I saw some prices floating around today. He was what, 15-1? That's
Rudy.
absurd. That's ridiculous. But he's such a detestable figure that if it's not going to take much for people to decide he's not getting my vote. So
he kind of had the off year at times.
Yeah, he's a dicey case.
You got rid of it. So
all right,
hiding behind it.
Andy, good job.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of this game. By the way, the Broncos got a touchdown. It was Jay Williams. He's got his second touchdown in the game. He's just being a touchdown hog.
The fantasy and DFS guys were really big on the Estime guy today.
He has 3 carries. Estime has 3 touches for 17 yards.
I think he's going to be good, but they just have too many other running backs, and they're not bad. They didn't need to replace them. So, all right.
They didn't. I think our second half play looks pretty good, though.
Let's go Denver.
I don't think.
I'm not.
Keep playing. You know what I'm not worried about? I'm not worried about the Saints getting 2 touchdowns here.
Not really.
Did I jinx us? Hopefully not.